do that. Joining me now is Congresswoman Barbara Lee of California. Great to have you with us, Congressman. I know that you have personally worked really hard on this and been an advocate for those who have been less fortunate in our economy. Are Republicans, do you think, are they going to hold unemployment hostage in these negotiations?
Let me tell you, Ed, I'm so glad you're focusing on this because, of course, we have now, as you said earlier, so many people who will lose their unemployment benefits on December the 29th. We have 2.1 million people who could lose these benefits. And I have to tell you, I hope that the Republicans understand that many of these individuals are their constituents. Unfortunately, during the last negotiations, unemployment benefits were reduced from 99 weeks to about 73, 74 weeks. I could not support that. I hope this time around that those who are unemployed are not put on the chopping block in terms of their benefits being cut. We have now, Ed, nearly 50 million people living in poverty, 16 million of whom are children. And we need to help people until we turn this economy around. This is a safety net. It's a bridge over troubled waters.
It's not a bargaining chip because, you know, in the last lame duck session of the Congress, the Republicans were willing to extend these benefits for 1 year to get 2 years of an extension of the Bush tax cuts. Is that off the table?
Well, I tell you one thing, let's hope that that's not on the table. I do not want to see people, the most vulnerable, low-income individuals, the working poor, and many of these people who are in the ranks of the poor are the working poor. We don't want to see people who've been unemployed for 27 weeks or longer, the long-term unemployed. They do not need to be part of the game that's being played to get to some kind of an agreement. We need to make sure that they're not a pawn in this and that we do not balance the budget or, you know, move forward on this cliff, and I call it a human cliff, with them being at risk.
Okay.
And so we have to make sure that the millionaires and billionaires pay their fair share and make sure that the most vulnerable are protected, and that's the unemployed.
Well, let me play devil's advocate here for a moment, and it kind of plays into the last block we just did. A lot of things are ending up off the table here. The Democrats want to raise taxes on the wealthiest Americans. You don't want to hit Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid, and now, of course, you want to protect the unemployment benefits. Where are you willing to give up? I mean, if unemployment benefits, if the weeks aren't going to be reduced or the payments aren't going to be reduced, where would you suggest going?
Well, I have to tell you, first of all, we can't go into cutting those who have already paid a big price for the last deal. We need to look at defense. And when you look at where we can actually cut, you know, there's billions of dollars in waste, fraud, and abuse at the Pentagon. When you look at these huge tax cuts of millionaires and billionaires, we need to make sure that we do not extend those tax cuts. Yeah. When you look at the oil subsidies that oil companies received, I mean, there are many, many ways we can move forward and stop this human cliff from occurring, but we do not need to go with seniors. We do not need to do this on the backs of seniors, low-income individuals, the unemployed, and the poor. It just doesn't make any sense. And it's not fair, and it's morally wrong.
I think it is morally wrong, and it's not fair. And I think there is a moral obligation to help the poor and those folks who are trying to recycle back into the economy. But do you feel confident that the Democrats will hold the line for the less fortunate?
I feel very confident that the Democrats will hold the line for the least fortunate. Okay. When you look at what's happening in all of our districts, Republican and Democratic district, we have people who are unemployed, we have the long-term unemployed, and we have people who want to work. We need to create jobs, invest our resources in workforce training and job creation, and that's how we turn the economy around and reduce the deficit.
All right. California Congresswoman Barbara Lee, thanks for joining us on the Ed Show tonight. Coming up after